The silver tray trembled ever so slightly in her hands. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Whitfield had stood in the heat of battle, faced down armed men in the dead of night, and earned the kind of scars only a Navy SEAL could carry. Yet here in a brightly lit conference room filled with high-ranking officers, she was being asked to pour coffee, like a secretary who didn't belong. Whispers slipped between uniforms, some smirking, others shaking their heads. She swallowed the sting of humiliation and kept her face steady. But the truth rested on her finger, a ring forged in sweat, blood, and brotherhood. A SEAL Trident, gleaming faintly under the fluorescent light. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Every nerve in her body screamed against the moment. She wasn't here to serve drinks. She was here to serve her country. But years of discipline pressed her shoulders back, urging her to keep calm, to wait. She told herself it didn't matter, that one day they would know. And still, she felt the burn of their dismissive eyes. The room grew quiet when the double doors opened. General Harrison entered, broad, commanding, his mere presence demanding silence. He sat at the head of the table, a thick folder in hand, eyes scanning the room until they landed on her. For a heartbeat, the tray in her hand felt heavier than a rifle. The general's gaze dropped to her ring. His brow lifted, and his voice cut through the air. Lieutenant Commander Whitfield, is that a SEAL Trident you're wearing? The room stilled. Mugs hovered in half sips. A colonel coughed awkwardly. No one dared speak. Sarah set the tray down, her hands finally steady. Yes, sir, she replied, her voice calm, but inside her chest, a storm raged. Whispers erupted, quick and sharp like sparks in the dark. The general rose slowly, the scrape of his chair echoing like thunder. He walked to her with deliberate steps, stopping just close enough that his voice became intimate, yet carried across the room. Gentlemen and ladies, he said, turning to the officers, do you have any idea what this ring means? This woman has fought in places most of you only read about in after-action reports. She has led men twice her size into battles none of you would have survived. The officers shifted uncomfortably, their earlier smirks erased. Sarah felt heat climb her neck, not from shame, but from the sudden gravity in the general's tone. Then he did something no one expected. He picked up the tray she had set down, poured a cup of coffee himself, and placed it in front of her seat at the table. The air crackled with silence. Rank melted away in that instant, leaving only respect. Sarah sat slowly, her heart pounding. For years she had endured the quiet prejudice, the sideways looks, the doubt. And now, with a single act, the general had rewritten the moment. The moral question hung heavy in the room. Why had it taken a man of higher rank to make them see her worth? Why had courage and sacrifice been invisible until now? The officers shifted in their chairs, uncomfortable with the truth their silence revealed. But respect has a way of echoing. One by one, chairs straightened. A few even nodded in acknowledgement. And Sarah realized she didn't need applause. She needed this recognition to open the door for those who would follow her path. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. The tray was no longer in her hands. The weight of their doubt was no longer hers to carry. Instead, she carried the strength of every mission, every scar, every oath she had kept. And in that room, sunlight caught her ring, and it gleamed brighter than ever before. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that reveal the hidden courage around us.